The cameras didn't cut as intended, instead staying in position. There was a gasp from the audience shortly after Chrissy revealed her secret wedding on TV. Social media was a huge hit. Jim Jones merely sat still. No one knew what was going through his mind. It was impossible to tell if he was confused, hurt, or about to blow out. However, the backstage events that followed the credits rolling were not meant for the general audience to see. A hidden camera that was still rolling behind the curtain recorded what happened next. Unedited tears, accusations, shouting, and the truth after production hurried to calm things down when Jim Jones attracted a large crowd. They didn't plan on coming out. This wasn't just reality TV. The internet watched everything in its pure, messy state during the decades-long collaboration that created and broke in real-time condition. Social media feuds were planned with regular reunions, special shouting, yelling, a few walk-offs, and a sprinkle. But the final 5 minutes of the Real Love, Real Lives show in Harlem were unexpected. Chrissy didn't only show up looking fabulous and having attitude. She had a mystery when she came. Furthermore, the mood changed when she disclosed to the performers that she had a spouse. Exhausted from the studio, I did what I had to do in private. Was the first time in my life that I didn't wait. I never asked. I make my own decision. Not just the audience gasped, but I have a husband. Sources are not. The host, everyone was still recovering from minor colds, except for the cast. During the entire show, Jim, the biggest gasp, was prompted by Jones's rigidity. He stayed still, without even blinking or flinching with their sunglasses. Lights and diamond chains kept catching the stage. Yet that silence was more potent than any as the reunion hosts desperately attempted to recover control and roll the credits. He had the opportunity to employ an exploitative as the show concludes. Jim doesn't move. The producers gave the cue to finish up. Bravo to the audience. Lights went out as Doc got ready for their departure interviews. The gang began to shuffle towards the rear hallway. Jim Jones is still sitting down. According to one of the boom operators, he was struck by what appeared to be a bus composed of everything he could have avoided. His reaction was not anger, but amazement. That eerie quiet in this makes your heart unsure of what to do, as if he were trying to keep himself together. His two hands were resting on the armrests of the velvet reunion chair. All he could hear over the din of the crew was "Wow, for real," and his microphone was still hot. Then, without even going to the changing rooms, he rose slowly and methodically and moved from the hut to the green room. He headed directly backstage to Chrissy's personal caravan, which he had rented since they arrived. What are the main cameras? At that moment, the primary camera feed went black, and everything essentially went airy. Thank God. Backstage videographer Reggie, who had been hired to capture behind-the-scenes footage for social media marketing, continued to use his camera. Pure conflation was what he managed to record. Unaware of what he was getting into, Reggie kept rolling on live television. "You just hurled that at me like that," while Jim hurried past security and used one hand to pry open Chrissy's dressing room door. Chrissy spun around without a knock or any prior notice. First, the heel is still removed. The makeup artist in mid-touch, her jaw tensed, and she let her little mirror fall to the floor. "We were done." "Jim, you knew that. You knew I was married?" "Yes. Married a man who never texted me at all." "You did not feel I should have, at least that you'd like to speak now. You abandoned me 6 months ago after you skipped couples therapy and didn't show up for my mother's burial." Wow, it became actual at that moment. It was audible that everyone in that corridor stopped breathing. The production assistant who was holding the clipboard stopped. Reggie backed up just enough to maintain the clarity of the audio. Even when one of the background stylists made an effort to close the door covertly. The full camera does not move. Chrissy had left the microphone in the dressing room running. But no one knew that, although it was an accident rather than protocol, the audio was very clear. It was leaked 2 hours later. A lot of people shared the video on Twitter. After Chrissy gave him 20 years, this man spoke nothing about her. He made it up to her to decide for herself. Now, the video went viral. The supporters were divided. Despite all of that stress, Chrissy's voice cracked with pain. So, most people backed her. Jim was backed by others who felt betrayed, unprepared, and hurt. You were conscious of the fact that you knew about my wariness. I waited for years on you. I was promised a wedding, a family, and a life. However, all I ever got was assurance. You have my allegiance. Jim hit back. You left me unsure. Twitter doesn't go down for a few minutes. All across the country on the charts, Chrissy and Jim Jones were ranked first and second, respectively. The Shade Room passed along the footage. Live broadcast of Hollywood Unlocked discussed the altercation. Kama Jones even added to the chaos by posting a 2012 picture of herself and Chrissy along with the caption, "And just like that, poof, gone." The comments were severe. Jim, who was 20 years old, had no ring. Time was love. When asked if she did, Chrissy replied, "I do. We had dips at classics, but that guy couldn't get Chrissy a date." ... Fans began deleting old interviews, receipts, love, and hip-hop shows in the interim, as well as the 2011 proposal where Chrissy knelt down. Her entire online experience was replayed. The waiting continued endlessly until she finally gave up. Jim now withdraws to his caravan. One of the production staff reported that Jim left Chrissy's room without saying anything else. He didn't scream, slam anything, or try to fight anyone. He merely made his way to his caravan without making noise, sat down, and closed the door. He didn't say anything. He only stared at the floor. A makeup artist who handed him a towel claimed eventually he fell softly on the vanity counter. His shackles. Jim Jones was seen without them for the first time since the start of filming, after each one was taken off separately. Some pot pulled up on PM. At last he broke the silence by texting his first-day acquaintance. Freaky Zicky. It was her. She was playing the bluff. I believed Chrissy's phone was vibrating constantly. In the interim, actors blog. Then Chrissy received a barrage of texts and direct messages on her phone from folks she hadn't spoken to in years. But there was one message that stood out. Her new husband was sending her a "proud of you. Greetings from a man whose identity the entire world knows still isn't certain. Allow them to talk." Making headlines was not Chrissy's goal when she walked into that reunion tape. With her heart protected, her wedding band hidden beneath a new manicure. Having 20 years of history, she was ready. She was careful not to bring Jim into disrepute. She was not looking for revenge. But the one thing that was peaceful, something that she wanted, required her to do something that she had been afraid to do for over a decade in order to get it. Let go of the Jim Jones idea. A change occurred in the ring. No helicopters, no handwritten note, no beach, no rap lyrics stitched into a diamond, no rose petals, no extravagant proposal. As well as a man who preferred to create with Chrissy rather than fix her. Bellamy Marcus was the man's name. Yes, the famous architect known for designing homes for hip-hop's elite. They first met at an interior design gala in late 2022. The reason Chrissy was there was to assist a friend. No one has been fired as a result of the production leak. Chrissy's marriage appears to have been known to the creators of Real Love, Real Lives prior to Two Jims. Indeed, a few weeks before the shoot, Chrissy reportedly asked for a period of time to amend her contract. She didn't want Jim's reaction. When she opened up and unhinderedly spoke about her relationship status at the end of the reunion, recorded on video. Although all she wanted was to get her story back, the producers saw a chance to make it viral. During the final 5 minutes of the run-up performance, they rescheduled her introduction without Jim Jones warning the actors. No briefing was given. To the host, they wanted it to be a real occasion. Instead, They received 4,000 dots of pure agony on paper. Chrissy was furious when she realized how they had framed Jim. They had been cautioned by her not to exploit his reaction. Nevertheless, the footage was owned by the network once it was recorded. Once the tape was leaked, it became clear that there was no turning back. Jim's inner circle talks to you, Jim's best boy, who asked to stay. Jim Jones was actually getting ready to ask Chrissy to marry him again during the reunion. Jim reportedly already had a ring picked out, according to an anonymous conversation with an urban podcast. His plan was to hide the ring in his suitcase and remove it after talking to Mama Jones, who this time was pleasantly encouraging. One last try, one more shot. The plan at their most recent meeting. However, here's the twist. He was never provided the chance because before he could say anything, Chrissy blew it. I'm already married. The supporters were divided. Some claimed that Chrissy should have warned him. Others asserted that she has been warning him for the last 2 decades. She fell for the piece she never thought possible. The day after the reunion, Chrissy shut off her cell and got on an upstate train. Just her and Marcus, without a fancy entourage. During their stay in a small cabin on the lake, they ate meals prepared at home. Meals I didn't glance over their shoulder when I played jazz. They burst out laughing. Someone close to Chrissy claims that she cried twice, one time out of relief, because he claimed he still had to cope with the idea that she had shattered a man who had previously loved her deeply. And another time out of guilt, even in spite of the public's and supporters' cheers. But he didn't know how to show it. Then, again, she knew this too. If I didn't go, I was going with her. Meanwhile, rumors are circulating that you're organizing something. Jim Jones is not done yet. Fans claim that he has been working on a new solo song that sounds like a Chrissy CD album. I ought to have known the title. Further, the song's violent delete snippet contains the following lines. She took my loyalty and flipped it to silence. Gave her time. She gave me violence. Whether it's heartbreak, bars, or both, one thing is for sure. Jim Jones disappeared from the public glare in the days following Chrissy's wedding, and Chrissy isn't looking back. Jim's explosion was nothing new to admirers. He was the cloak of Harlem and the voice of unrepentant emotion. However, he fell silent this time, which alarmed them. No interviews, not even a subtweet. Yet, Instagram thrives. Many since Jim's silence was calm. The pressure was increasing. I should have known about the song that broke the internet. When people saw Jim's unexpected freestyle, I should have known the beat on SoundCloud. Raised the song's lyrics, which include the eerie lines. I gave you my time, my space, and my time, and you entered his life by playing, evoking suspicions that he was lying quietly all the time. You wore white, I wore shame. I was held responsible. The internet went down and I was unable to draw the line in time. You departed. He lost more than just a girlfriend. The TikTok developers started making amazing replies over the music. Fans stitched a video of Chrissy's wedding reveal and made a comment. Although his legacy was lost, the final words I said to her were, "You are still my forever, even if you just visit me in dreams," which had everyone clutching their pearls. No one was supposed to remember the secret camera that Reggie had behind the scenes. But it turns out that prior to Jim leaving the building, they paused at the exit door with their hoodie pulled down, their glasses back on, and their chains taken off. And it caught one more moment that evening. Chrissy's best friend, Kendra, was waiting with her suitcase when he stopped for a moment to talk to her. I was always worried she would outgrow me, and she did too. So tell her you didn't want this to stop. And then he went out into the night first. He didn't know how to love himself. Kendra wanted people to know that it wasn't all ego. So she purposely released the video even though it was never seen. Unbeknownst to supporters, Chrissy's wedding had taken place 2 months before. The reunion was recorded with only 30 guests, no press, and no footage. We never heard the vows. They were poetic and personal vows. An outdoor courtyard in Spain in a sunset that seemed to have been drawn by God himself. But one particular passage resonated differently and was accidentally posted to a close friend's Instagram story. This was it. "I'm thankful to the man who spotted me before anyone else did, because you showed me how to ask for greater things and what love isn't." Now that I think about it, some people were angry with you. Chrissy was considered offensive. That promise shouldn't have been dark. Others said it was poetry masquerading as closure, but she still had Jim in her heart. Mama Jones stands up in this chapter that is horribly written and ends with power. Additionally, just when the internet feared that things were becoming too nasty, the well-known woman posted a video of herself holding a white glass and saying, "I'll say it again." The incident begins, "Chrissy is amazing. I always will, and I always have. On the other hand, you don't do similar things on TV and expect the same reaction. Go away." Thus, her finding happiness makes me glad. Do not pretend, however, that my son did not put forth a lot of effort for her. You held out. Yes, you know what, my love, and he lived through you. The comments caused a rift among fans. She said, "Tell her mom you brought him up." Others, instead of blaming the lady, blamed the man. As Chrissy waited, Jim sobbed in beats. According to one of the most popular comments in Quiet, only one of them made it back, but they both lost. What about Jim? Then during Chrissy and Marcus's Italian honeymoon, Jim reportedly returned to the studio, but not for music. Indeed, it was for treatment. Jim allegedly joined a private men's club in secret. Those close to him said he was in an upstate New York mental wellness retreat where there were no phones, no press, and no outside distractions. His goal is to make the man better before he becomes well known again. Therefore, he is not attempting to return. It is true. It's also growing, to be honest, because the Jim from 10 would have gone to a strip bar, dropped a CD tape, and dated a complete stranger just to fit in at this gym. Chrissy feels content. Take dotted photos at a seaside restaurant. Chrissy, as well as Marcus, is eating with him. Neither paparazzi nor fans are present. Just a soft smile on her face as her head rested on his shoulder. Felt happy for her since she had finally made the decision to be herself. For tranquility, through years of begging, praying, and suffering. Not for publicity, not for clapbacks, nor for the culture. Then she said to a friend, "I left him to save me, not to hurt him." Chrissy offered Jim every chance to show up. But he didn't say anything in response to multiple messages from fans that were widely shared. Goodbye. Unwavering affection becomes emotional debt. She took advantage of the situation. Okay. Jim Jones came to see that hard effort and loyalty are not the same thing. The Queen of Batman was regarded as a backup dancer and wasn't waiting for a wedding. The story's climactic scene can be visualized as a split screen. Jim Jones is seated in the dimlet on the left. A photo of Chrissy in the studio with his headphones. Often tears in his eyes made her yearn to feel appreciated. The image on the right shows Chrissy walking along a cobblestone road. She walks hand in hand with Marcus, her new ring shining in the afternoon sun, knowing she doesn't have to turn around. All she could say was, "That's it, family." The Lost story was filmed when the world wasn't supposed to see it. It chronicled love, squandered time, and finding healing. This was more than just a reality TV show. Instead, 10 years of love, quiet, and missed chances were coming to light. 2. The planet. In addition to losing Chrissy, Jim Jones also lost the version of her that was waiting for him. Instead of seeking revenge, Chrissy married for peace. Now is your moment to speak. Do you think Jim's public television revelation of her marriage was a sign of his own demise? Or did Chrissy by providing her with too much suspense? Let us know in the comments section below if you're more likely to be on either the Chrissy side or the Jim Jones side. The result of Chrissy's new husband facing Jim directly is worth being aware of. The blow that turns the post on is the next move. Press the like button to sign up for alerts. As a result of the story, it's not quite done. We've located our cameras. They are not welcome. They are not welcome. Not welcome.